Okay, this video is about walking and how, and there's also a sound effect when you're walking, so any of your weapons in your hand, it's going to like jiggle back and forth, going up and down when you're walking, and it's going to make a sound of walking on the floor. And also when you go into the second room, you're on grass, you'll sound like you're walking on grass. So I'm going to talk about that, but first I'm going to go over again the monster hits real quick, because I don't think I explained everything, but alright, let me just go over this real quick. So with the monster hits, there's only one maroon box in the room, and it's called object monster hit _1. So each one of these maroon boxes is _1 for the monster hits. So that means when you hit the first monster, it's going to change the _1 to _2. So let me go into each one of these boxes here and just show you. So under the destroy for monster hit 1, it's going to go to instance create monster hit 2, which is the maroon box for 2, and then it's going to also create the blood image for a second, and then it's going to be destroyed. Okay, so then it goes to monster hit 2, and then under the destroy for monster hit 2, it's going to go to instance create object monster 3, and then it's going to do the instance create object blood, and then it's going to go to monster hit 3. Same thing's going to happen, but then it's going to go to object monster _4. So it keeps rotating down. Every time you hit the monster, it's going to change and go to monster hit 2, and then go monster hit 3, and then it's going to go monster hit 4. But it's also going to repeat and do the blood again. So then when it goes to monster hit 4, it's going to actually go to instance create, go to object monster 1 _dead. So now he's completely dead. So you hit him 4 times, and then it's going to go and rotate to the last monster, which is him dying. Shows the image of him dying and then being destroyed. And it also does the blood, of course. So then it goes to monster hit 1 _dead, and then it's going to be destroyed, and goes to text _monster gone. So it shows the image of him getting destroyed. And then it's being destroyed and being deleted. It does a roar sound, and then and then it's going to time out and be destroyed. And it's under 27 milliseconds, because that's how long it takes for the animation to go through and show the monster dying, and then it's going to be destroyed, and it's not going to repeat. The animation is not going to repeat of him destroying, because 27 milliseconds is good enough for one animation rotation, and then it'll be destroyed under self. And then it's parented to monster basics wall, basically, so it doesn't go through the wall. And then I guess I can go over real quick the barrel. So the barrel is just object _barrel. That's all that's in the room. And so when it's destroyed, it's going to actually go to instance create object barrel hit 2. So barrel hit 2 is the flashing. So it's going to project the flashing for a second, and then it's going to be destroyed. So sorry about that. So it's going to be destroyed, and it's going to actually show the animation of him. It's going to show the animation of it being exploding. So basically, the barrel, there's not really any hits on it, as you know, like the monsters were, and you can change that by just kind of mimicking what I did with the monster hits. If you want the barrel to, you know, hit the barrel a couple times and then it'd be destroyed. But in this situation, I just had it flash a couple seconds, and then it's going to jump to barrel hit 2, and then it's going to explode and then be destroyed. So that's what's happening here. And like I said, with all the monster hits here, it's showing the text underscore monster, which is him moving forward, the monster moving forward. And like I said, with underscore 2, underscore 3, and underscore 4, there is a roaring sound. So if you try to put monster hit 2 in the room instead of monster hit 1, then he's going to roar for a second, and you don't want that. You could potentially put the roaring sound in with the blood. That way, if you decide, okay, I only want the monster to get hit twice, then you could put monster hit 3 in the room, take this roar sound out, and put it in with the blood image instead. The blood image right here is object blood. So you could actually put the sound in here, in the blood image. So when it hit the monster, when the blood flashes up, that does the roaring sound instead of having it set up to the monster. So like I said, if you wanted these blocks, one to be monster hit 1 and this one be monster hit 2 or 3 or whatever, you could do that, and it wouldn't do the roaring sound until you hit them, and then it shows the blood, and then the blood would do the roaring sound. So you could have different variables for each monster, where one monster you hit twice and he dies, or you could have the other monster hit 4 times and then die. So you could do that too. Alright, so let's go. Now let's talk about the walking sequence here. So when you play the game here, let me go back in, but you see what I'm talking about. You hear the sound of him walking and the weapon moving up and down. So I'm gonna get to the next round because I died with the monster. Okay, well that's not working right there. Hold on. I'll have to fix that later, but I know when I load up, it plays a different sound. Hear the crunching of the grass. Okay, so I'll have to fix that glitch before I upload it to the YouTube, but you notice that the sound was changed once I loaded it, but when I got in the second room, of course, it didn't. You heard the other sound from the first room, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But And one thing I didn't show was the animation of the crystal real quick. It's the same kind of concept though. It moves up and down when you walk in, but just the okay, so and notice the crystal has the sound keeps being amplified for some reason when I'm walking, so I'm gonna have to try to fix that as well. But so how I did that was basically just I copied these animations here, so the animation, see how it moves down and up. So I just copied copied several images, and then went into the editor and just went into the lasso box and just grabbed it and moved it down like that, and just created an animation of it moving up and down with the crystal or with the gun or the knife, the same concept. So each one has the same kind of animation. Depth at -100, do a draw event, and all this information is projected on the screen. You have to have that draw event in there, but you do have to change the sprint of the image. So this is sprint 153. So that's what this is, 153, when it moves up and down when you're walking. So same concept for the weapons, for the gun and the knife. So we have the image speed equal 1, index 0, and then it does 50 milliseconds, and then it's going to change the walking to crystal gone. So that's if you pretty much use it up. Then you have the knife. Moves, up and down there. And this one does image speed of 1, index of 0. The draw event is all the same. You copy everything from the original image of the knife to make it project on screen, but you change the sprint image here for the walking for the knife. -100. Make sure it's persistent. All the images are persistent. Same with the gun. Speed, draw event, persistent, depth. The next gun, same thing. Speed, index, the draw event. Just change the sprint out. Keep all the information the same, so they're projected on the screen. Make sure it's persistent. All the information is persistent. All the weapons that move up and down when you're walking. And in the player event, under note key, make sure you stop the sound for the walking sequence for the object player. So remember, an object player, the first room, you have object player stop the sound from playing when you're not moving. And then in the second room, you have object in player, and you're just going to stop the sound for the other object, which is the in grass sound. So you want that to stop when you're not moving. And then for the left, up, right, and down, that's you moving up, back, left, and right. And then also, I think the keypads don't matter. The keypads don't matter. Just the left, up, right, and down sequence. You want to change the object hands to the walking. Now this walking is going to be the grass sound because you have in player here. Well, actually, object knife walking. So all these images up here don't have the audio in there. There's no audio in any of these walkings, but it is in for the. It is also, it's there for the player, in player. I have this audio somewhere. I'm not sure exactly, but it should be in the, okay, here it is. So for some reason I couldn't add the audio in with the regular keys here, the keyboard. The audio had to be in when you press the button for the keyboard. So you have grass plane sound for the M player, because the M player is in the second room. So for you press the keyboard left, up, right, and down, you have the audio playing. If you put this audio in here with the keyboard here, then it doesn't play right. So I had to put it in here for the press key event. The keyboard just has it change the object hands that just stay static to making them walk, because you're actually moving. Perform event, correct, yes, and then this is the speed, which was already in there and begin with, and this was already in the game automatically. So this makes him move a certain amount of speeds and slow down a certain amount of speeds. For the right, same thing. You have object hand, it switches to the knife with making him walk back and forth. So static object hand of the knife switches to the object hand of him moving the knife up and down when he's walking. For the right, up, left, and down. And then when he's not moving, it's going to change the object knife walking to the static hand, which is just the knife being static, not moving. And same thing with the gun. It's not moving. It's not moving for the second gun. But I think I didn't realize this, but I think I also have to add else statements for the other. I gotta add else statements for this, because this doesn't seem to be set up right. It needs to be like this. It needs to be set up with, if I get the gun or the other gun, it's going to switch. So I need to add more here, I think. So I'll have to add an else statement here and add another switch for changing static hand with the gun to walking with the gun. So all that needs to be added to the left, up, right, and down, just in case if he gets that. So I don't have that set up here. I'll have to add that in there. And then, like I said, for the first player here, it's the same setup, and no key. It's going to change the knife walk to static walk. I think it is actually I think it is set up right, because remember, you start with the hand with the knife first, so it may not need to be else statement for the other weapons. I'll have to test it out and see, but I think you just need the hand with the knife in there first, because like I said, you can rotate using your mouse buttons or the space bar to go to the other weapons. So I don't think it's necessary to add the else statement for the other switches, but I'll test that out. And this is this left is talking about the direction of the speed he's traveling, and that's already been talked about. So like I said, when he's not moving, then it's going to stop the audio for the walking sequence for the first room. You're not going to hear him walk on stone, and it's going to switch the knife moving to static knife with the hands. Same if you have the gun, it's going to change the walking with the gun to static with the gun, and the same thing with the second gun. It's going to stop the walking for the second gun and go back to static gun. And if you have the crystal, it's going to go back to stop the crystal from walking and moving up and down, and it's going to go back to static crystal. And then, like I said, when you press the keyboard, it's going to play the audio for the sound, and you set it for true. You may not need to set that to true. It may need to be false, because you're walking constantly. That could be the reason why it was messing up on the second room, because it was set to true. It may need to be set to false. because you don't need it to loop. It plays when you press down the button. If you do the loop with the true statement, that means you're not pressing anything. It keeps playing repeatedly. So I may need to change that to not looping. That could be the reason why it's messing up. I could test this theory real quick just to see if that's the issue. But that's pretty much it. See, I had that set to false. False. Yeah, it could be the reason why. No, I chose the wrong image. Yeah, I don't know. This may work, may not. I'm gonna have to, because like I said, the walking was playing. It was playing the walking stone sound on the second room, and it should have been doing that. But once I loaded it, it played right. Okay, so I fixed it. Okay, so I fixed that. So basically, you got to make sure that it's set to false on when you press the button. So do not have this set to true. Make sure it's set to false. Let me try one more thing when I load it up. Yeah, it's working now. So I essentially made the bobblehead. I tried to make a bobblehead for this fake 3D game because there's a code for it to making the the camera like shift up and down to make him walk. But that seems like that effect can only happen if you're truly making a 3D game for a first-person shooter. Since this is fake, it doesn't seem to work. Just like the sky, I was trying to make it like a dome spear, but for the fake 3D, it doesn't seem like you can do that. Only in the 3D world you can pretty much make a spear sky. So I had to make it, the sky flat looking, but it still looks like a sky and doesn't look too flat. But since, like I said, I'm dealing with fake 3D, that didn't seem to work so well. Alright, so this will be my last video on fake 3D for right now. The next video will be about part 3 of virtual keys, and then I'll go back to fake 3D. There's one more thing I need to talk about with for virtual keys. So, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.